everybody, welcome to another 3D Print Anything. Today I'm going to take a look at another filament that I have received in the past, but this is another color, and this is from Tactink. It is a white PLA 1.75 millimeter, as that's the only type of printer I currently have. Just labeled 3D filament white, PLA. Temperature range is 195 to 215 C. Looks like it has a batch number, and is just a cardboard box. Nothing fancy there. Little window. There it is. Little window there. And here is the bag. This is not a reusable bag. I had to cut it open. It doesn't have a tear spot or anything like that, but it was vacuum packed well. But there's no reusability. So once you pull it out, you need to find a place to store it if you don't use it real quick. It does have a silica gel packet inside. So that's that. And they have updated their spool with the Tactink label. So it says create ideas into reality. And it's just labeled premium quality 3D filament PLA 1.75. Has the temperatures again on it, 195 C to 210. Dimensional accuracy is listed at 0.05 millimeters, and glass transition temp is 50 C to 60 C. And it says its net weight is 2.2, so it should be 1 kilogram, 2.2 pounds. The color in this guy, it is very white. It seems odd, and I think it's more so maybe just lighting, but has a slight pink or reddish tint to it. You know what I think it might be? It might actually be translucence, the light shining through, but it is definitely white, as the prints came out white. But for some reason, when it's on the spool, it kind of has a reddish or pink tint to it. Not sure how come that's the case. Yet again, the Tactink spool, nice features. You have the opening so you can see how much filament you have left, including the center. The downsides, not totally a downside because you can get around it fairly easily, is the size of the spool hole is very large. I think this can be a plus and a downside. Plus is that means the center portion of your filament is not wound as tightly, and you don't end up with spooling issues sometimes if it's really, really tight, if you have it come off the spool too quickly on the printer. But the hole here is a little bit bigger, so you just have to rest it on your actual spool holder versus some of the spools attach and push on all the corners and edges of the spool. But not a big deal. Yet again, nice setup there. We have a couple test prints that I did, and I went with very similar test prints to the ones I used on the last Tactink roll, so I can compare the two and see if there's really any difference. One thing I did notice is I adjusted my printer, and I'm just going to let you know, it didn't stick on these two little pieces when I was printing out my test piece, and it peeled up. And I think that's more so just because I adjusted the printer and was not smushing down as much as I had last time. If you remember, when I did the last roll, I mentioned that the letters were kind of squished into the print bed. And this time, you can see here, I don't know how well that's going to show being white, but the letters are much more visible than the last print. And that's just adjustments on the printer itself. It has nothing to do with the filament. But I used a little bit of glue stick, and it stuck down with no problems and printed out our test piece. And we'll talk about this in a second. The standard white Aztec. As always, I'll put the links to any of the models into the description, except for items that I've made, such as the test piece. But this guy printed out pretty good. I did notice that in comparison to the last one, the shield had no real issues when it starts to overhang here, and it would tend to try and curl up on a lot of filaments. This one did really well with that. This guy, I had some lift, not much, just a little bit, and you may not be able to see it on camera. Let me see if that works better. You can see the little bit of movement on it, but everything else printed out fine, just like last time. No issues with the rest of the model. Looks really good. I totally enjoy the Aztec guy just as a test piece, so I can keep a lot of them, and if somebody wants something, I can show them the different models, and they can get something in that particular brand or color. but that guy came out well, just like last time. The boat, the Benchy. The Benchy came out well yet again. No issues. This printer is doing really well at printing Benchies, and especially in PLA. But the circles, everything's smooth. I don't see any issues at all on this guy. And the lettering, now that I've adjusted the printer, is better. Take a look at that. Go ahead and put your comments below if you have any models you'd like to see in Filament reviews or Filament first tries, things like that, so I can see what I can add to the collection of models that I'm going to use for benchmarking. All right, so my test piece. Let's start off with the letters on the side. Yet again, no issues at all. Not a single problem there. And then on top, we have our dome, no issues. The thin wall test, no issues. Of course, the printer doesn't have anything lower than a 0.4, so it's not printing out anything lower than that. And then we have our bridging test. Now, I did notice an interesting item on the bridging test. I don't know if you're going to be able to see it on camera there. Let me see. Right there. You can see those little curlies down there at the end, at the second one from the end. And that's on the 10mm bridge. For some reason, because I wasn't watching when this printed, but for some reason, some of the bridging did not connect. I'm not sure why. I don't know if that was like an under extrusion or what was going on there, but they didn't connect. And the 5 has one loop that's like that. Now, when you get to the 10, or not the 10, sorry, the 15mm, no issues. The 20, a tiny bit of sagging, but still connected. The 25, you can see again, just a tiny bit of sagging, but no issues. So overall, doing just fine. Don't really see much of a problem there. Probably just something happened during that one layer that caused it not to connect. Now with the overhangs, we got them again. And you can see those guys right there. And going from the short guy to the long guy, we got 45 degrees, 50, 55, 60, and 65 overhangs. Really, I can't fault this filament for overhangs. It has had really great results with that. So this test may have to be expanded for future filaments from different companies. But you also have the peak, and this is one of the biggest things. And as you can see right there, there we go. I think you got it. Right there. That peak is very pointy, very sharp. Oh, let's not get that rocket in the way. That peak's very pointy and very sharp. Actually, quite a bit sharp. And it didn't melt when it was printing it, which was awesome. It's pretty straight, only a little bit off, but worked out great. So the Tic-Tac white PLA in 1.75, which is on Amazon, had really no issues. I probably will print out this whole roll into something, maybe a bigger rocket when I set up my new printer, but we'll see. So I hope you liked seeing the review of the Tactink white filament. And if you have any questions or comments, please put them below. Let me know your thoughts. And if you have any ideas for the channel, also place them below or hit me up on my Twitter account, which is also linked below in the description. Please like and subscribe to the channel. It's really appreciated to get your feedback and also see that people really appreciate 3D printing. Well, until next time, keep printing.